Hi everyone and welcome to Core Tech Matters mentoring programme. So in this first episode I'm going to talk to you about why you might consider mentoring and the things to consider when selecting a mentor, assuming of course you don't already have someone in mind. I'll also share with you 3 examples of when I've had mentoring in the past. They're 3 very different examples for 3 very specific mentoring reasons with 3 very different mentors. So there are many reasons why you might consider mentoring. You might want to engage with someone from the leadership team to help you develop your leadership skills or indeed with your career development. Maybe there's someone you feel might be able to help you with a particular challenge. If you're in a new role, peer-to-peer mentoring to support you in the interim phase, or maybe you're looking to move into a new role or take on a new project and would benefit from support from someone in that area who can help you develop those skills. So let me share with you some examples of when I've had mentoring in the past. So in this first example, we're going back a few years to when I was in the disaster recovery role, and I was on the programme, or as a subject matter expert, a resource if you like, on the programme to migrate disaster recovery from the UK into the US. And I think many of us have been in that situation. I think particularly when you work in IT, when you are a subject matter expert, you're involved in the work that is going to completely transform your role, or in this case bring it to an end. So I was very mindful of the fact that my role would naturally come to an end at some point in the future, and I was very keen not to sit and wait for something to happen to me. I kind of wanted to get in front of that. So around about this time, I met my mentor for the first time. We'd had a couple of kind of candid discussions around the future of disaster recovery and indeed the future of my role. This was someone who was, I guess, a member of the senior leadership team, so someone that had influence and insight into the direction the business was going in, which was, you know, from a practical standpoint, useful. I felt it was kind of unlikely that he would steer me down a dead end, as it were, and someone who I instinctively trusted upon meeting them, and that's really important in a mentoring relationship, particularly with someone you don't know particularly well. And in this example, I think I specifically benefited from working with someone who had no preconceived ideas. We hadn't worked together previously, so helped me to think about my career a little bit outside the box. Now I'm not an engineer. I don't have a specific skill set with a kind of obvious career path. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and that can make thinking about your career or what your next role might be really challenging. Now, we met maybe 4 or 5 times, so not a great deal at all, over the phone and during the mentoring. And he posed those kind of big questions and got me to kind of think about my experience in a different way and helped me to kind of, I guess, take the blinkers off a bit and kind of recognise opportunities as they came up, opportunities that kind of previously I probably wouldn't have looked twice at. So one of the things to note here was that my goal for mentoring, my mentoring needs were very broad. My role was coming to an end, and I needed a new opportunity, and my goal was to remain working for the organisation. So when we talk about goals in terms of mentoring, we're not talking about those SMART objectives. What we're talking about is your needs, your mentoring needs. And I was very clear, you know, when I first sat down with my mentor in this first example, was my goal is to develop my career within this organisation. I'd like to stay put. My role's coming to an end, and I want to find my next opportunity. So very, very broad. So in the second example, very different from the first. I had moved into a new role and was obviously keen to be successful, to make the role successful. And I knew that it would be useful to engage with someone, just to have some support in that interim period. So in this instance, I I approached someone that I had a kind of long professional working relationship with, but someone I had built up a personal rapport with, someone I would consider a friend. So someone I felt safe enough to be vulnerable in front of. And to panic in front of. I like to use that kind of swan analogy. Here we are kind of gracefully navigating the waters, and underneath our feet are going 19 to the dozen, and there's absolute chaos. Now, in this instance, this was someone who, now I wasn't looking for someone to indulge me, but someone who would help me get out of my own way. So there was a real kind of blend here of practical support, someone to be able to bounce ideas off as I kind of developed the role and developed goals within the roles, someone who could kind of point me in the right direction of people I needed to kind of speak to and all that kind of good stuff. But as I said, primarily, it had to be someone that I could be vulnerable in front of, and someone that would kind of cut through the bullshit a little bit, and kind of, and someone I knew and well enough, and they knew me well enough to kind of tell me to put my big girl pants on and get on with it. That kind of person who wasn't afraid to just kind of cut to the chase and tell me when I was kind of focusing on the wrong things, or maybe getting stressed about things that I just didn't need to get stressed about. Okay, final example, and again, very different from the first two. In this example, I had just taken on the programme management role for the LND programme, and I kind of took a moment just to take stock and really think about what the role required, what the programme required, and really think about where my blind spots were, where my development needs were. So in this case, I engaged with someone again who I'd kind of built up a rapport with. We probably hadn't worked together a great deal, but we'd spoken a lot, and someone I liked, someone who, we were becoming quite friendly, and I just thought, again, someone I knew that I could be a little vulnerable in front of. So in this case, what I was looking for was really just some support and some hand-holding as I kind of navigated those first few weeks and months in the programme. So specifically, kind of understanding those big kind of personalities in the Lexus leadership team, helping me to really think about the politics, understanding the politics, when to cut through it, when to respect it, and some practical advice and guidance around the PMO policies and processes. So I really hope that was useful and helped demonstrate that if, to really think about what your mentoring needs are, and then finding an appropriate mentor that can support those particular needs. So I just want to quickly run through, just to summarise. So identify your mentoring needs. So we're not talking about SMART goals. If we think back to the examples, mine were, I want to stay with the company, I want some support in a new role, I'd like some practical help with a new programme. Very big, these aren't these measurable objectives. So those are the needs, and once you're really clear about what your needs are, then select your mentor. Is this someone you have rapport with? Is this someone you're comfortable opening up to? Is this person going to challenge you? You're not looking for a yes man, you're looking for someone that is going to kind of push you a little bit and support you. And do they have the right experience in the particular area you're looking for? Finally, one recommendation, and that is, and it is just a recommendation, but try to avoid approaching someone in your direct reporting line, so not your manager, your director, your VP. And I say this because they have a stake in your success, and mentoring is about you and your goals and your needs and working within your boundaries and your values. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't. I have previously been mentored by my VP, who later went on to be a mentor for me at a different time. So that was hugely successful. But it's just something to think about, something to bear in mind. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. It's really appreciated. I hope it was useful. If you have any questions or comments around the mentoring program, or indeed around this the vlog, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much.